following broadcast of Pony Sports on VAC TV is supported by Joseph's Restaurant.
For three, you betcha! Huber looking for five, and she's got
diving save. Liza Carlin for three.
Bullseye. It's going to be Bloomquist. What a save! 15, 10, 5. Lago looking to go all the way. She scores!
Dejarnik with the block.
Kashuk's got him down. That's how you do it. There's a fire, and he just picked his spot. Centering pass, scores!
It's the final regular season home game for Stillwater girls lacrosse. They have the Suburban East Conference title locked up, and very likely the #1 seed in Section 4 locked up, but a win over the Mahtomedi Zephyrs would ensure the top seed heading into section play, and that means hosting throughout the section playoffs. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Peden, all by myself, talking to myself. That's Chaos Theory. Live girls lacrosse coverage here on Valley Access channels, and a lot of folks are wondering how Stillwater would forge ahead after Andy McGuire went down to an ACL injury. The answer, Lydia Glass. In 4 games, Lydia putting up amazing numbers. 15 goals, 6 assists, 21 points, so she's averaging just over 5 points per game. She has scored a hat trick in all 4 games she has played in, starting from her first appearance when she put up 5 against Park of Cottage Grove. It also includes a trio of goals against Eden Prairie and White Bear Lake last week. Stillwater's lone loss came against the Eden Prairie Eagles. 16-8, they beat White Bear Lake. By that point, they had the Suburban East Conference locked up. But Mahtomedi hoping to play spoilers in a sense, and here's why we said the 1 seed could be at stake tonight. Based on QRF, Stillwater holds the top spot in the rankings. Mahtomedi is second. Now, no matter what happens, Stillwater will finish presumably with the better record, but they do play Breck on Thursday. Breck, a winnable game, but you never know. As we are ready to start, players meet at the draw circle. It's called the draw in the girls version, and with the boys it's called face-off. Either way, we are underway. Stillwater with the first possession. Lydia Glass, number 19, keep an eye out on her. Olivia Boxmeyer, the goalkeeper for Mahtomedi. Save percentage .356, averaging just under 11 goals allowed per game. There's a quick stick from behind the net, and Stillwater's on the board just like that. That is number 35, Ellie Fisher. And it only took 26 seconds for the Ponies to get on the board. Lydia Glass, the player to watch, but Stillwater, they have some other playmakers. Ellie Fisher, one of them. She just picked up her 19th goal of the season. Grace Bancroft, Tori Lilligren, and Eliza Darby, some of the other goal scorers. Annie McGuire, though, still leading the team in goals and assists, but if you were to take the split based on the last 4 games, I would presume Lydia Glass would be leading the team. She'll have plenty of opportunities, though, to pad her numbers, presumably in section play. Again, if Stillwater gets the 1 seed, they host all the way. It was Glass who gave Fisher the assist, so Lydia Glass already making her mark. Stillwater again. And I believe that was Lydia Glass who took care of things herself. We'd like to welcome all of you watching this live on SEC as well, but right now it's the Stillwater fans who are loving this. 2 goals in the span of 43 seconds. Lydia Glass, a freshman. We were here for her first varsity game against Park of Cottage Grove. She got called up, as the saying goes. If someone goes down, it's the next one up, and that happens to be Lydia Glass. Not many teams can lose their top player and still function the way Stillwater has, but when you have a player like Lydia Glass who can make a lot of moves, you just never know. This time the draw, Stillwater wins it. They have to backpedal a little bit. Jackie Colzer picks it up, and Stillwater going on the attack once more. And with lacrosse, it's all about winning those draws or face-offs, however you call it. That allows you to control tempo. Here is Glass looking for a target, dumps it off to Eliza Darby. That's another key for Stillwater, even though they're outside the top 10. Losing to Eden Prairie hurt their chances of breaking it. Some fine movement there, but that time Boxmeyer gets the save. Just underway in the first half. As you know, in the girls' version, 25-minute halves. Boxmeyer having a little bit of trouble. As you can see, it is extremely windy. So that could mess up the timing. Stillwater with the steal, the fast break, and the score. It's Lydia Glass. Boxmeyer, an errant pass, and just like in basketball, if someone spots it, they can chase it down, grab the loose ball, and take off running. Lydia Glass did just that, and she has 3 points, 1 minute and 47 seconds in. Nope, that was Colzer. Excuse me, a little tough to read the numbers from up here. It was Colzer who scored. But Colzer, one of those other playmakers for the Ponies. She picks up her 12th goal of the year. So 3 different goal scorers for the Ponies as they take a 3-0 lead. And the way Stillwater is playing, they figure to be heavy favorites. Mahtomedi finally wins a draw, and we'll get our first chance to see them run an offensive set. The player to watch for on the part of Mahtomedi is Jane Dimitri. She has 45 points, 24 goals, 21 assists. She wears number 24. Samantha Burns leads the team in scoring 28 goals. She wears number 2. Those are going to be the 2 big names to keep an eye on for the Zephyrs. Zephyrs, winners of the Metro East Conference. They had to sweat out a couple of close ones with Hill Murray, for those of you who may have been following their games on SCC. Stillwater and Mahtomedi have a rivalry of sorts. Ellie Donovan was looking for a pass-out option. Jane Dimitri picks up the loose ball, and Mahtomedi continues their set. No time limit in girls lacrosse. And that includes the amount of time to move the ball past midfield. Nice find, but number 20 couldn't find the mark. Mahtomedi hangs on to it because they were the closest team to the ball when it went out of bounds, but the Stillwater defense forcing a turnover, and similar to the boys version, you can have 9 position players on any given time, a limit of 6 on one side of the field. Stillwater on the run, looking good in stride. Oh, Darby to Glass. The pass is off. Glass doesn't see an opening, so she'll reset with the quick dump, and Boxmeyer with the save. Another errant pass. Stillwater cashed in the last time. Boxmeyer struggling to move the ball after a save. Darby doesn't have anywhere to go. Flips it. Back out to the point. A charging Lauren Wilk. Ball loose near the net. Won by the Ponies. Anna Fisher. And a reminder to follow us on social media for updates on Valley Access Channel's programming. It's possible we could do some playoff coverage. We will confirm it with you, of course. Follow us on social media, Facebook at Valley Access Channels, Twitter, Valley Access TV. Some more flips going around. There's Ellie Fisher. One of the dynamic playmakers on the ponies, and Stillwater taking their time. No shot clock in high school lacrosse, so you can take as much time as you want to run a set. And Stillwater in complete control here, so I don't think they're going to force anything with a 3-goal lead. Boxmeyer gets another stop there, but the ball deflected right back into the stick of Fisher. Lauren Wilk has it. And a foul on Mahtomedi. Now, the girls players do not wear helmets. To compensate for that, each player effectively has a halo, so a defender cannot put the stick within a certain radius. And that also applies for shooting space too. Because the players don't have helmets, it is a safety hazard. So the official is using a walkie-talkie to radio something. Presumably to the press box. The clock has been running this whole time. We have a lot to sort out here. They stopped the clock at 19:06, and they add 30 seconds back on. Back to action. Pass deflected by Elena Schweiders. Mahtomedi looking to go on the run. And here come the ponies. They move in for the interception. This has been the story. Mahtomedi, I don't think has taken a shot on goal yet. That stingy Stillwater defense not giving them any opportunities. There's Grace Bancroft. And you can see the gusts of wind on the players' jerseys. We are going to have a foul on Mahtomedi. Penalties are less common in the girls' game of lacrosse, but they do exist. Again, most whistles have to do with space violations. Again, the stick cannot be within a certain radius of a player's head, and the same applies for shooting space, and that is all done to compensate for the fact that girls lacrosse players don't wear helmets. And some of the top players, if you've watched lacrosse over the years, they can fling that thing. Stillwater taking their time. No sense of urgency here. Again, they have a 3-0 lead. That certainly isn't insurmountable on the part of Mahtomedi, but the ponies are looking pretty confident. So far, their defensive come up clutch. They've tracked down errant passes, so it's been a leisurely opening segment for the ponies in their final regular season home game. They will play Breck on Thursday, a game that was rescheduled from its April date due to inclement weather. Glass a shake and bake, and she dumps it in for her second goal. And we'll have a timeout from Mahtomedi. 17:07 left in the first half. And Stillwater leads 4-0. They look to be well on their way to the #1 seed in Section 4. And as we said in the open, if you get the #1 seed, you will host all the way through. Here are some of the early highlights, including a pair of goals from Lydia Glass. And I'd love to be able to describe them for you, but my monitor is out that I use to see what's happening on the production side of it. But Lydia Glass giving us a lot of highlights here. And Stillwater all around. When you look at their defense, one of their goals came off a turnover and subsequent score from number 29, Jackie Colzer. Lydia Glass with a pair of goals. There we go. We've got picture up here. So you can't see it in the press box, but I can. There's a monitor that allows me to see what is being fed to the masses. And now I can see the Mahtomedi huddle. TV production in a nutshell. And if you want to know more, actually, you can learn more through a podcast, but you'll have to devote several random minutes of your time to find it. Throughout the season, Stillwater, some impressive wins. 26-1 over Irondale. Sweated one out with Forest Lake 8-7. 15-4 win over Eastridge, 17-2 over Mounds View. Cretin-Durham Hall, that's where they lost McGuire. They beat Roseville handily. Lakeville North, that one was a nail-biter. It looked like they were going to pull away, and the Panthers made a charge. Parker Cottage Grove was when Lydia Glass stepped in, and they scored 2 big wins that week. Last week, perhaps their biggest week of the season, lost to Eden Prairie, which in all likelihood takes out any chance of them getting a top 5 seed if they make the state tournament. Eden Prairie in the top 10, Stillwater not in the top 10 based on the last poll. White Bear Lake, they beat 11-8. By that point, they had wrapped up the Suburban East Conference title, but they'll take it. An undefeated run in conference play, and with the majority of teams in Section 4 from the Suburban East Conference, that will give Stillwater the edge. Mahtomedi, I should have clarified on their end, they're in the Metro East. I said they had won it. I forgot about the Henry Sibley Gentry Academy Co-op. They are one of the top teams in girls lacrosse this year and have flat out destroyed opponents in the Metro East. Stillwater winning another draw. Stop me if you've heard that before. Here's Eliza Darby. And Tori Littlegram will trot back out. And once again, Stillwater not showing any urgency, but they don't really need to. It's not that they don't want to score, but they know we don't have to force it. A little bit of a mishandle there from Grace Maddox. See a couple of stick checks from the Mahtomedi defense, and ball still loose. And we have a whistle. And it could be for a stick violation. Getting in the space near a player's head, and it's a foul on Mahtomedi, so just when it looked like they were going to perhaps get a stop, Stillwater takes control again. Centering pass from Glass. She'll get the dime, and I believe Grace Bancroft will get the score. 5-0 with 15:36 left to go. We're halfway to the mercy rule threshold, and Stillwater showing no signs of slowing down. Bancroft with her 18th goal of the season. Fisher has 19. And Lydia Glass up to 17. She is moving her way up the standings. She won't have enough games to make the leaderboards since they tally full season stats, but like we were saying, Lydia Glass certainly leading the team in scoring if you go off the splits, since she took up her first varsity game, which we covered right here in Valley Access Channels. I played Park of Cottage Grove. Mahtomedi wins the draw this time. They have yet to get a shot on goal. Last time they were here, they coughed it up. If you're Stillwater's goalie, Hannah Beard, who has manned the net most of the season, say it's a pretty leisurely assignment so far. That won't diminish her alertness, though. Beard, by the way, .536 save percentage, 7.2 goals allowed per game. Mahtomedi looking for a hole. They can't find anything. Thought about a centering pass to Jane Dimitri, but didn't like what they saw there. Here's Ellie Donovan and Samantha Burns. Donovan running the offense here, or at least attempting to, and Stillwater not giving them any lanes to work with. And we may have a foul on the Ponies on the push as Jane Dimitri tried to run a curl. That is indeed the case, because they are setting up, and Dimitri will effectively get a penalty shot here. See everyone in that semicircle. Dimitri winds up and scores on the one-hopper. Mahtomedi gets on the board. And Jane Dimitri picks up her 25th goal of the season. Mahtomedi's top player in terms of points. So Mahtomedi finally cashes in on an offensive set by virtue of the penalty when Dimitri was pushed from behind. And in that red semicircle is the best way to describe it. That red area, tough to see. That will award you effectively a penalty shot. Stillwater wins this draw, and if the pass sets are an indication, Stillwater won't be in any hurry to force the ball into the net. They're going to bide their time. Lydia almost lost it, retrieves the ball after momentarily left her stick. A soft pass there. Got to be careful. Don't want to give Mahtomedi a free ball here, and the Ponies have asserted total dominance in terms of possession. Darby dekes around her coverage, and I think a Mahtomedi player got a stick on it to keep Darby from an uncontested look. Stillwater will reset here. Lydia Glass, 4 points already. 25 points in 5 games. She could add more before we're through tonight. For Stillwater, the future is now. Annie McGuire will move on after this season. Unfortunately, her high school career finished by the ACL injury, but Lydia Glass will step in. We had a senior night ceremony for the players prior to the start of this game. Colzer goes back behind. Glass gets bumped, and that will be a foul on Mahtomedi. And a yellow. The question is, where did the foul occur? A penalty here on the Zephyrs, and it looked like it happened within the red semicircle, so Evie Sigulski will head to the penalty box, or I should say to the bend. Yep, the penalty area. And Glass can't make that shot count. Boxmeyer gets a stick on it for the save. Stillwater forcing the turnover. So it's 7-on-6, woman up here for the Zephyrs, I should say the Ponies. Another save by Boxmeyer, and then a foul on Stillwater. So Mahtomedi will likely kill off the penalty here. Mahtomedi on the move. This is Jane Dimitri. We know she can throw down some moves. Her shot is wide right. Mahtomedi had a player behind the net in number 35, Allison Wilkie. So no issue there. Zephyrs are playing short-handed, but what this does is allow them to kill off the penalty without any concerns whatsoever. Dimitri takes another shot. That one a soft two-hopper that rolls past the net, and Wilkie will make sure it stays on the Mahtomedi side. Evie Sigilski hit with the penalty, but it will likely do no damage. But we are seeing Mahtomedi run a little more fluidity. And again, this is a battle of 1 versus 2 in the QRF rankings. Mahtomedi coughs it up. Stillwater tries to pass it upfield, and pass was a little too high. Mahtomedi will take over, and the penalty is killed off. Back at full strength. And a foul is called on the Zephyrs. Not what Mahtomedi was looking for, because Stillwater has demonstrated their talent at running lengthy sets. And we noted earlier we may have some spring playoff coverage coming your way. We'll have updates on our social media pages if that comes to fruition. I can also assure you that we have a full fall schedule, and unless something really weird happens, it will be a full fall schedule. We won't have any questions about games and spectators, all of that. I know I'd like something closer to normal, and we certainly hope to bring you a normal season in the fall. So a lot to look forward to in the calendar year on Valley Access channels. Stillwater tried the centering pass up the middle. That's all right. They'll retrieve it and try again. and eat up more time in the process. I know it's the first half, so killing clock may not be at the forefront of your mind, but with the way Stillwater has executed their sets, the more time they use, the less time Mahtomedi has to counter. Fisher to Wilk. Tried again. What's been helpful for the Ponies is having someone to back them up if a pass goes awry, like number 20, Tori Lilligren. Darby trying to shake through a couple of defenders. Can't quite do it. The ball, I think, bounced off the crossbar. But Stillwater clearly the closer team to the ball. And again, any shot, any ball, or any throw that is considered a shot on goal, control is awarded to the team closest to the ball. And we have got a foul on Mahtomedi. It's outside the penalty area, so Lauren Wilk can't really do much with it. Met by a double team. Ball is not loose, but another foul. Again, same situation. Not in prime scoring range, but if a player can cut, get herself open, you never know. Wilk fakes a drive and will instead pass over to Lilligren. And now Grace Bancroft scoops it up. Bancroft. Passes behind. Bancroft has it. And she lost it. You don't see that often. Bancroft just flat out lost it. Mahtomedi won't be able to... Well, I hold that thought. Ball's still loose. And Mahtomedi does pick it up, but it did not look all that polished as Dimitri finally scoops it up. And Mahtomedi can run another set here. Stillwater fluttering a little bit on their most recent sets. They're using up a lot of time, but Mahtomedi still in striking distance. Another goal here would certainly help their cause. And this is not the first time Stillwater would be in that situation again. They went up big against Lakeville North and had to sweat out a nail biter in the second half. Centering pass and a score. And Mahtomedi looking to change the momentum. Dimitri with the dime, Greta Shimnowski with the score, and Shimnowski picks up her 14th or 18th goal of the season. Stillwater looked like they were going to run away with this one. They led 5-0. And slowly but surely, Mahtomedi making them flinch a little bit here. Or at least reconsider. And I'll be curious to see how this might influence Stillwater on their sets. We've seen them, the last few, just been very methodical, but unable to get anything out of it. And as we noted, seeding implications potentially are at stake as Dimitri wins the draw. Now Breck is the final game for Stillwater. Breck not doing all that well this year. That should be a game Stillwater wins, but if Mahtomedi can get the victory here, even though they won't win the Metro East, that would be something coaches look at. And they are on a charge. Donovan's first shot was deflected, but went right back to her. She finds McKenna Cunnington, a cutting McKenna Cunnington, and Cunnington makes this a 2-goal game. Donovan will pick up the assist there. So when it looked like Stillwater was going to pull away and maybe win this one in a rout, they get a little lax perhaps. No pun intended, folks. In any event, Mahtomedi now has momentum. And they would love to play the spoiler, and that is one way to do it. Keep winning draws, and you can set the tempo. Cunnington won that draw for the Zephyrs. Again, it's a draw in the girls' game, face-off in the boys. Effectively, they mean the same thing, but either way, Mahtomedi is on a roll. For those of you watching on SCC, you're watching some fine athleticism on display. Dimitri just takes that in and dumps it herself for the score. It's a 1-goal game. Zephyrs have scored 4 in a row. And the last pair of goals have come in the last 32 seconds. Now it's just a simple power move on the part of Dimitri. 26 goals on the season. She has 3 points in this game, and we've got ourselves a barn burner now, at least for the time being. What looked like a rout is turning into a slugfest between two high-caliber teams. 1 and 2 based on the QRF rankings in the section. And this draw is important. It's won by the Ponies, even though we're still in the first half. That's crucial. Here's Lydia Glass. We haven't heard much from her lately. What's the spin move? And that will be ruled a shot on goal, so Glass must have whiffed it. She had an opening, but wasn't quite on target. Bancroft was there, and Stillwater keeps possession. I wasn't sure if Glass intended to shoot it or meant to pass it, but the Ponies get a break either way. Let's see how they approach this set. A while ago, they were pretty casual. Not trying to force anything. It's a different story when your 5-goal lead turns into a 1-goal lead. Centering pass into traffic, and a foul on Stillwater. Mahtomedi will get the ball and have a chance to tie it. Mahtomedi throws it away. That flummoxed them early on, especially with Boxmeyer throwing a couple of errant passes after a save, giving Stillwater a free ball on the attacking side of the field. If you're Lacrosse, you'd love to see Stillwater get a goal out of this. Another tight pass through traffic. Glass comes up with it. Centering pass. They go back out to Darby. 1 minute to go. Stillwater may be holding for the final shot. Mahtomedi protecting that middle. Centering pass, and a much-needed score for the Ponies as Darby, I should say, Glass, went behind the net, did the wraparound, and then flipped it to Fisher. In terms of psyche, that is a goal the Ponies needed badly. Fisher with their second goal of the game. And Glass, unofficially, with 3 assists. You don't get a hat trick for assists, but Glass is close to getting one. And we're seeing Lydia play facilitator, more so than in other games. She only had 5 assists entering this. And an assist is also good for a point if you follow the sport, so you'll take them however they come. Stillwater wins the draw, and they have time to mount another offensive here if they can run a good clean set. Soft pass there. And Darby's able to pick it up and keep it inbounds. 25 seconds. Centering pass again, slightly off the mark, but it doesn't matter. Stillwater able to recover in time for the score. So a much needed pair of goals for the Ponies. We'll see if we can get a look at that. Here it is. Good reaction on the part of Anna Fisher, who scores her first goal of the game. Okay, it was Sydney Johnson. I thought it looked like a 10 from here. Lydia Glass with 4 assists. Well, I will get my eyes checked at halftime. And Sydney Johnson will pick up her 12th goal of the season, her first, and more importantly, Stillwater striking when they needed to most. Mahtomedi had scored 4 in a row, and they were right on the heels of the Ponies. It would have made for a tense halftime proceeding, I think, but Stillwater getting some distance again, building up a cushion with a pair of goals in the final minute. Lydia Glass with 4 assists. Mahtomedi wins the draw. Will they have time? 10 seconds, they'll have to hurry. Donovan, Mahtomedi, they gotta go. 3 seconds. And time is up. I don't know if Mahtomedi was aware of the clock. Dimitri needed to show a little more urgency, but Stillwater will take a 7-4 lead nonetheless into halftime. We will break it down when we return.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
we get strawberries?
Okay.
Stillwater leads Mahtomedi 7-4 in a Section 4 battle. A great tune-up before postseason play and a key matchup in terms of seeding. Mike Peden here, and this game has taken some wild turns. Stillwater began this contest with a 5-0 run, and it looked like they couldn't do anything wrong. They were winning draws, forcing turnovers on the attacking side of the field, and getting easy, quick scores. Lydia Glass, a big reason for that. Then Mahtomedi came, and came hard. 4 goals in a row as we take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. And Stillwater saw their 5-goal lead dwindle to 1, but a pair of goals in the final minutes set up by Lydia Glass and dumped in by Ellie Fisher. And Sydney Johnson gives Stillwater a 7-4 lead and a much-needed dose of momentum for halftime, trying to prevent this Mahtomedi team from an upset win that could shake up section seeding. And a big reason for Mahtomedi's comeback was Jane Dimitri, who scored twice and got an assist on another goal. And here's a look at the Glass to Fisher score later in the first half, and then nice move by Sydney Johnson. Pass from Glass a little off the mark. Johnson able to recover and adjust to get the score. That is the mark of a true athlete, how you handle situations when they're not quite picture perfect. So that is a first half recap. We'll see if Stillwater can finish the job and move to 11-1 when we come back.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Phenomenal coaches at Stillwater High School.
And one of the hardest workers, won the workout award numerous times.
You know, the Stillwater team is where I really got into the racing side of skiing. It's where I learned how much I love team.
Join Mike Peden and Ted LaRue for Ponies All Access. Season recaps and stories of the players and coaches that make pony athletics great. Catch All Access on Xfinity Channel 15 and on the Valley Access Channel's YouTube page. For more than 40 years, Joseph's Restaurant has had your favorite pies and been a can't-miss stop for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But have you stopped in lately to see what's new at Joseph's? A new and improved bar area is great for meeting some friends or watching the game. If you're a little toasty inside, come outside on the patio at Joseph's to enjoy your meal in the fresh Minnesota air. Whether past or present, Joseph's is the place to be, right off Highway 36 in Oak Park Heights. There are so many great stories to tell within our school district. Inside 834 tells them all.
Ask more questions and learn more stories.
It was just unbelievable.
Quiet ride now. Back in the day, they'd always be talking, moving around. Now it's really very quiet.
I loved playing the piano. I started in 5th grade.
Watch Inside 834 on Xfinity Channel 15 and on the Valley Access Channel's YouTube page.
Second half will start in just about a minute on Valley Access Channel's High School Girls Lacrosse, our final regular season spring sports broadcast. We mentioned Lydia Glass, the player to watch in the Open, and Lydia has performed as advertised. 6 points unofficially, 2 goals, 4 assists. I think what we weren't expecting is how much she would play facilitator. Only 6 assists entering this game. As you see, the scoreboard confirms what I said, 7-4 the score, and the scoreboard never lies. But we want to thank all of you who followed us throughout the season. And we want to thank Joseph's Restaurant and Bar for sponsoring this broadcast. And we really got to give you props. This was a turbulent season. You probably heard the phrase. Well, it's a turbulent season, and there's been plenty of turbulence in this game. In fact, I see looked like a pom-pom or something flew off from the stadium. We've had a stiff wind all day. It's caused some power outages, perhaps, at the stadium, where power would shut off momentarily and then bring itself back on. My mind goes to the Winnie the Pooh song about how blustery a day it is, and this certainly has been a windy, blustery day. On the bright side, it has knocked down the dew point considerably, so it feels much more comfortable as opposed to the sauna we had been experiencing for a while, and you can see the wind whipping off the jerseys too. But it's been a turbulent season unlike any other. Of course, we had the pandemic throughout the school year, which caused havoc with just about every schedule imaginable in the fall and winter sports season. But from the winter season onward, we've slowly made progress. We were able to have state tournaments in the winter. We'll have state tournaments in the spring. And I think we have to give everyone a pat on the back for just making it in what has been a very trying school year for everybody, whether it was distance learning, not knowing whether your games would be played or not. And I will say this, with Stillwater, by our count, didn't have to reschedule any games due to protocols. And I know the athletes here take their commitments quite seriously. They want to play, and they'll do whatever it takes to ensure they can. Stillwater wins the draw to start the second half, and we have a foul against the Ponies. So Mahtomedi will take over, and in good position here. Again, they scored 4 in a row. So we know Mahtomedi can put up runs, and this is not a pushover team, 7-3. By the way, you saw the shot of the flags and how windy it is in the press box. Well, we have one of the doors closed, so I don't hear what the PA announcers are saying, as Dimitri's shot was deflected, picked up by the Ponies. But in the press box, if it gets windy, the press box becomes a wind tunnel. You could do aerodynamics testing up here. Stillwater on the move, looking to improve their aerodynamic abilities. And the pass to glass offline. Prime opportunity, and the Ponies couldn't cash in. Mahtomedi looking for a statement win. Battle for the ball near midfield. Mahtomedi picks it up. They escape the pressure. Zephyr started the season with 3 straight wins. And then Mahtomedi turns it back over to the Ponies. And then it's been feast or famine somewhat. They lost to Blake, one of the perennials in girls lacrosse. And then the 19-6 loss to the Henry Sibley Gentry Academy Co-op. They also lost a tight one to Forest Lake. They will play again tomorrow when they host Hastings to wrap up their season. Sections start next week. Quarterfinals Wednesday, semifinals Friday. One change between the last season we had lacrosse is Lydia Glass, and that is a goal. That is a change because 2 years ago you didn't have Lydia Glass making hat tricks with regularity. Her 5th game of the season. And 5 hat tricks. And if Lydia Glass is putting up numbers like this in the middle of the season, imagine what will happen next year when she has a full season under her belt. As I was going to say, one of the changes between our last season 2 years ago, and now, if you recall, a couple seasons ago, you'd have your semis, and then 2 days later, you got a quick turnaround. You're playing in the section final. This time, there is a little more space. And we've noted this in prior broadcasts, but most of the state tournaments will take place in the span of a week. And that could make for a very busy time on the Stillwater side. They win the draw, and that was their key to success early in the first half. Winning draws and striking quickly. Glass was close enough to ensure Stillwater would hang on to it after Lilligren's shot went wide left there. Here's Glass, centering pass. I'm not sure Bancroft had control of it, but Glass got in there and wins the scrum. Lydia Glass is doing everything. Oh, Tori Lilligren found a hole, punched through it, and bounced the shot off the top of the post. It's harder than it looks, folks. Trust me, I did a media scrimmage once when the Swarm were here. It wears you out when you're not athletically trained like these kids are. But more importantly, Stillwater still hangs on to it as they hold an 8-4 lead. Looking to lock up the 1 seed. They've done enough already when you look at the two teams. Mahtomedi second, but a Zephyrs win would make things a little more interesting. Stillwater, though, only lost to Eden Prairie. They beat everyone in the Suburban East Conference, so they've locked up another conference title, and that's going to carry enough weight, I think, for them to get the 1 seed regardless. But a win over Mahtomedi would remove any doubt. Whoa! How about that move by Hannah Beard? Stillwater's got to be careful here. Now, there is no time limit to move the ball upfield, but you saw Allison Wilkie go off speed there, and the ball almost bounced in the net. Hannah Beard able to react in time and knock it away. Lilligren's had a couple of chances. Here at the Ponies here, maybe you play a little more deliberately. You have a 4-goal lead. They've scored 3 in a row to answer Mahtomedi's 4-0 run back in the first half. Darby, thinking about it, can't shake free. Whoa! That was a bang-bang play. No room for error, and Grace Bancroft capitalizes. That is one of those plays where you have to trust your players to make their cuts. Here's another look. Darby hooks up with Bancroft, threads the needle. Nine to 4 our score. Bancroft with her 2nd goal of the game, and Darby logs her first assist. Leads the team in that mark. But it may not be long before Lydia Glass takes over. We'll have to see what happens in section play. And Bancroft up to 19 goals on the season. She has a pair. Wouldn't mind a hat trick, I presume. Lilligren wins the draw. Darby tried to flip it. Not a shot on goal there, so Mahtomedi will take over. It hasn't been a perfect game from the Ponies, although then again, perfection is a seemingly unattainable virtue. But you can say they have made fewer mistakes, and certainly fewer bad mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, miscues will happen, but the type and nature of them can play a role too, as we've got a foul on the Ponies while Schweiders is bringing the ball up. In the case of Mahtomedi, remember they had 2 turnovers from Olivia Boxmeyer after a save where she tried to pass it out, wasn't aware of Stillwater's defense, and then they were able to scoop it up and go right back on the attack. Donovan. Goes to Wilkie. Centering pass to Dimitri, or I should say Shimnowski, was too strong. Stillwater with the turnover, and they've got numbers. Bancroft was looking to flip it. Darby goes high up, and Ellie Fisher was waiting from behind. It's a hat trick for Ellie Fisher. Here's another look. Bancroft with a couple of fakes, finds Darby, and then that is good field awareness on the part of Darby. Emma Nelson was there, and I think Darby was able to trick Boxmeyer. You saw Emma Nelson make a play for the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little trickery involved, because you saw Emma Nelson reach up for it as if she was going to receive Darby's pass, and Ellie Fisher was lurking from behind. So Ellie Fisher with a hat trick. Fisher a sophomore, so another young gun the Ponies can build on in future seasons. She's up to 21 goals on the year, so a 2-woman tandem of Glass and Fisher is certainly conceivable. The Ponies win another draw, and now we're seeing them reassert their dominance they exerted mightily in the first half. If you're wondering, Darby has picked up her 5th hat trick of the season. She's been up or down, depending on the matchup, kind of a roller coaster. Emma Nelson in trouble, but Stillwater with a 6-goal lead, so plenty of breathing room here. Now we'll stay with the Ponies. Darby has gone scoreless in 4 games. Usually the closer the games are, the harder it is for her to find scoring opportunities, but that can change with time and experience. Against some of the lower level competition this season, she's put up a 4 spot 3 times. Irondale, Mounds View, and Woodbury. And then the hat trick against Park of Cottage Grove. So Darby and Fisher have the same number of hat tricks, but Darby has done so with a far fewer list of games. Much lower sample size. Darby with the centering pass and a little wrister on the part of Grace Maddox. So Darby piling up the assists here as of late. And Stillwater up 11-4. So that scare in the first half when Mahtomedi scored 4 in a row appears to be a momentary blip. Maddox gets on the board. So Darby has 3 assists, Glass has 4. Again, you don't get hat tricks for assists, but Darby building up her point total. 19 assists on the season for Eliza Darby. That's not bad. Especially in a season where you had to make a huge adjustment. Stillwater wins another draw. Won't be able to get the quick strike in this time. Darby tried to hook up with Glass. That didn't work. Pass intercepted, but Stillwater with a 7-goal lead. You don't see that often. An interception by the Ponies as Schweiders tried to pass the ball upfield. Again, no time limit, so you don't have to worry about any violation of that sort. But this has been the story of the game. Outside of that 4-0 run by Mahtomedi, Stillwater has scored 6 unanswered since then. Well, you're hearing one of the coaches yell, "Take a breath." After they drew the foul, and we'll get a penalty shot here effectively. Interesting that they tried to pass back out. Darby reacts, fires. Ball's still loose. And we're going to have a yellow once again on Cegilski. This will be her second penalty, and now Stillwater will get woman up here, 7-on-6.
LAGB, sit. All of your sticks should be up. Stop. Pick one of them. Guys, double the ball. Double the ball. Double the ball.
Well, you don't see that often. Stillwater was ready to take the penalty shot, and this happened the last time they got a woman up situation. They ended up turning it over, and Mahtomedi was able to kill off the penalty just by hanging out on the attacking side of the field. Looking for a shorthanded goal here. They won't get it, at least for the moment. They draw a foul, though, and McKenna Cunnington will have a point-blank shot directly facing the net. No angle here. And Cunnington scores a shorthander. Take note. Last time this happened, Mahtomedi went on a run. We'll see if it happens again. Second goal of the game for McKenna Cunnington, the sophomore. 19 on the season. She, Shimnowski, Burns, and Dimitri, the big names for the Zephyrs. Well, Mahtomedi, they'll be pleased with their penalty kill because they haven't really needed to use it. But Mahtomedi, we saw them go on a run before, and there is still time. If you can win those draws and get more chances, you can come back quickly. And Dimitri will win this draw. Momentarily, that is. Stillwater takes over. They're still on the woman up scenario here on the penalty from Cegilski. But they haven't really been able to run a set with an advantage. You hear a coach yell, "Someone is open." But Stillwater couldn't find the open player. They They get the deflection there. Will it be enough for them to track down this ball? Yes, it will. So Stillwater's defense coming up stingy once more. And we've got a foul. And it's on Mahtomedi, so Lydia Glass will line up from that semicircle. Station right in front of the net. Look out. Boxmeyer with the save. Mahtomedi still trails, though, 11-5. They're back at full strength, but they have some work to do if they are looking for the comeback here. Again, based on how the two teams have performed, Stillwater should get the 1 seed in Section 4, winning the Suburban East Conference. Mahtomedi coming up short in the Metro East, losing to Gentry Academy Henry Sibley that one time, but they're not going away just yet. Samantha Burns takes it all the way from midfield, and Mahtomedi looking for another run here. Burns, the top scorer for the team, picks up her 29th of the season. And Stillwater does have one more game on Thursday, even though the game with Breck should be a winnable one. I wouldn't be surprised if Allie Crofts and the rest of the coaching staff take a look at this tape and remind them of the importance of consistency, because Stillwater has been the stronger team throughout this matchup. But the Achilles heel, the obstacle that has interfered with their path to victory, at least so far, momentary lulls where Mahtomedi is able to go on a counter. They've scored 2 in a row to make it a 5-goal game. Again, still a lot of work to do, though. Stillwater winning the last draw will help the Ponies' cause because they can eat up clock. No shot clock, so they don't have to force the issue. And with 11:53 to go, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
Motion, green light. Pass, drive, pass and move.
Darby reversing direction, lost it. And a foul on the Ponies. Inconsequential area of the field. Ooh, that was a dangerous pass. Glass almost picked it off. Ball still loose. Mahtomedi able to recover. Again, no time limit to move the ball past midfield like there is in the boys' game. Burns, look out. And a big save by Hannah Beard. Shimnowski had a clean look. Hannah Beard trims off that opportunity, and I'll show myself out now. Mahtomedi putting the pressure on the Ponies, and it almost paid off. Samantha Pitty almost went out of bounds there. And they're having some trouble moving the ball up. They finally get it to their offensive stick handlers. But the passing a little offline. You do wonder how much the wind is factoring into that. It's still blowing heavily. And the centering pass on target, but Lilligren overran it. Johnson able to make the recovery for the Ponies. And was looking to go backdoor to Lilligren, but Boxmeyer read that one. We're seeing a lot of high-flying action here between the two teams. But this is helping the Ponies, because even though Stillwater isn't getting a lot of shots off here, They're eating up time and keeping Mahtomedi from getting into an attacking posture. That's what they have to do. Bancroft lost it. Donovan was there, but couldn't put the stick on it. And Stillwater will hang on to it. Again, they don't have to force the issue. They wouldn't mind another goal or two for insurance because of how quickly you can go on runs, but this will work just fine for them too. Sydney Johnson scoops it up. Anything you can do to eat up time. Well, that was quite the contrasting statement there, quite the contrasting picture. You heard one of the coaches say we're wasting an opportunity. Well, Ellie Fisher waits it no more. She scores her 4th goal of the game. Stillwater up 12-6.
Scoring for the party, number 35, Ellie Fisher, assisted by big sister Anna Fisher.
Anna Fisher credited with the assist. That may have been one of those situations, as you saw in the replay, where it looked like Stillwater was in a pinch, in a bind, and then all of a sudden they find themselves with a golden opportunity. You heard one of the coaches say, we're wasting an opportunity here. I don't think they were saying that after Ellie Fisher scored. So Stillwater leads 12-6 with 8:25 left, and I would think they've done enough here to wrap up the win. Unless Mahtomedi goes on a furious rally here, but Stillwater winning most of the draws. Fisher looking for more. And we're going to have another yellow. The 3rd yellow card. And this one will go against Ellie Donovan, so she will head to the penalty box. And Stillwater will get a 7-on-6 woman up situation. Ellie Fisher backs off. Interesting. She might have went for it. Instead, Stillwater coughs it up. They have not done well in the penalty situation, but then Mahtomedi, I think, just gave them a free ball. They did. They were looking to reset with Boxmeyer, and the pass, they just whiffed it. That miscue has afflicted Mahtomedi a few times. That's something they're going to have to work on if they want to make an upset bid in sections. And that's going to be a foul on the Ponies. The clock is ticking. Mahtomedi, they've done a great job killing penalties here. Stillwater will have to work on their woman up or man up, however you call it, playmaking, because they have struggled in that area when they have had the advantage. Even gave up a shorthanded goal, but they won't that time, reading the pass. And forcing the turnover. Lydia Glass, we haven't heard much of her lately. Tries to shake off her defender. Backdoor, yes! Glass to Fisher. And Ellie Fisher with a power play goal and a season high. Five goals for Ellie Fisher.
Scoring for the Ponies, number 35, Ellie Fisher, assisted by Lydia Glass.
I don't think there's much more you can say. Ellie Fisher is having a day. 5 goals. She had scored 4 goals in 3 prior occasions. Lydia Glass with a hat trick as well. Ellie Fisher one away from a sock trick. Not that she'll need it. Stillwater, they've done plenty here, and I'd say we can give them the win. Mahtomedi would have to go on a run of epic proportions. And with that, Eliza Darby becomes the second Stillwater player this season to reach 20 goals. Annie McGuire got there in a short span of time, 26 goals, and probably would have piled up more if it wasn't for the ACL injury. Having to watch from the sidelines in a wheelchair as she recovers from her ACL surgery. But she has got to be proud of the future that awaits these Ponies when she and the other seniors graduate. We've got a foul here. Just outside that semicircle. But Ella Dahlberg might be able to do something with it. Okay, it happened just inside, so she'll get a look. Officials making sure everyone's in place. Dahlberg fires. Beard with the stop. But as we mentioned, Annie McGuire has to be beaming with pride at the future that awaits Lydia Glass, Ellie Fisher, and the other Stillwater players who will return and hopefully get to play a full season next spring. Eliza Darby, Annie McGuire, Anna Fisher, Holly Nolan, Amelia Warner, Samantha Pitty. Stillwater takes another shot. They'll hang on to it. Nora Bates, Lauren Benson, and Jackie Colzer, the seniors who were honored prior to the game. Of course, their season isn't done yet. Section play begins next week. Stillwater will get the 1 seed and shouldn't have any trouble with the quarterfinals. Semifinals, you would expect them to do well there. June 9th is the date of the section finals for boys and girls lacrosse in Section 4. High seed hosts. So we could have a situation where the Ponies would host 2 section finals in 1 day. It's happened before. And joining the fray, the scoring fray that is Tori Lilligren, and you know what? I'd say she was due. She had a couple of chances, one that went off the post. If there's anyone who was due for a score to get on the stat sheet, it was Lilligren. 14-6 the score. Nothing fancy there, just found a place her goalie, found a place that Boxmeyer wasn't. So Lilligren will get to add her name on the list of goal scorers. That's her 17th of the season. And Lilligren, the sophomore, part of the youth movement with herself, Glass, Ellie Fisher. You have to like the core Stillwater can build on, and that's been the case for the last couple of years. No matter who takes the helm, Stillwater always has someone who can step in, and that seems to be the case with so many of the athletic teams here. 14-6 the score. Mahtomedi wins the draw, but it's academic at this point. June 9th will be the date of the section finals. If we're able to provide coverage of that, we will let you know. Hopefully we'll be able to provide coverage in some capacity should either Stillwater team make it that far. And baseball and softball will have their sections around the same time, so it could be a wild week of section playoffs, and then it goes right into state. So if you want a cavalcade of sports, much like we had in the winter with basketball and hockey, all taking place at once, you're in for a treat. I presume that will change next year and we'll have more of a normal season, but sports fans, I don't think mind that kind of blitzkrieg where you're getting a bunch of games at once. Mahtomedi, they had a chance to make a statement, had a chance to make things interesting when they got it to within one, but then Stillwater turned up the intensity in the final minute of the first half, scoring twice, and outside of a pair of goals from Mahtomedi, it's been all Stillwater. But by no means, as Burns fires that shot off the mark, by no means is Mahtomedi a done deal in terms of section play as the wind finally starts to dissipate as the sun sets. Clock stops with 1:58. We're not at the mercy rule threshold. You have to be 10 or more. Hannah Beer with another save there. Here come the Ponies. They've sent in a few of their reserves, it looks like. And it's the Ellie Fisher on the sideline. Yep, they're pulling their starters here, the regulars, to give folks like Jackie Colzer and others a chance to finish out the game. Lacrosse putting in her seniors and giving them a swan song in their last home game of the regular season. They have one more game before sections begin. And Jackie Colzer picks up a score with just over a minute to play. Colzer with her 12th of the year. Well, you love to see that. 15-6 the score. Stillwater will play Breck, but as we noted before, Breck should be a winnable game. And this much I can tell you, Stillwater will be the 1 seed. So if we are able to provide section coverage, we'll have the finals right here, at least on the girls' side. The boys will have to see what happens. They have a big game tomorrow with Prior Lake. So if you're watching this and want to check it out, the weather should cooperate in a pleasant way. We hope to see you here at Pony Stadium. But if not, we certainly enjoy your viewership throughout the regular season. And I'm glad to be back on the airwaves. It's been a minute. Went on hiatus for a little while, but I'm back and I am looking forward to narrating some more memories with 25 seconds to go. Again, we're not at the mercy rule threshold. It has to be 10 or more for that to occur, but glad to be on hand to share more of these memories with you, like Ellie Fisher scoring a season-high 5 goals and Lydia Glass emerging from the trenches to fill in the absence of Annie McGuire. Ponies looking for one more. Can they get it? Yes. Holly Nolan with the most enthusiastic score of the evening based on the crowd reaction. That is Holly Nolan's first goal of the year. So Holly will forever be on the stat sheet. And the clock runs. It doesn't matter at this point. Stillwater will win this one 16-6, and Holly Nolan will forever be listed on the stat sheet, on the Lacrosse Hub. So when you go to the Lax Hub 10 years from now, you will see Holly Nolan's name as a goal scorer for the Ponies. They put up 16 in all and beat Mahtomedi 16-6. We'll recap it all when we come back.
It's pretty cool.
Mr. Dennis McDonough.
Two more times. Come on. It's gonna collect in some kind of a basin up here.
It is just an unbelievable experience and advantage that we're giving to kids.
Stillwater girls lacrosse certainly dropping the mic in this one, winning 16-6. Mahtomedi gave them a scare for a moment, making it a one-goal game when it was 5-4, but the Ponies took over from there. 11-2 the advantage to end the game, including the pair of goals in the final minute of the first half. And what a performance. It just came down to defensive tenacity on the part of the Ponies. They had a few miscues when they had the power play woman up situation, but that was it, and certainly inconsequential in terms of the outcome. Lydia Glass was the big story entering this game. Ellie Fisher, the big story coming out of it. Lydia Glass, too. Ellie Fisher, a season-high 5 goals. Lydia Glass with their 5th hat trick in as many games. And based on our notes, she added 4 assists for 7 points. Eliza Darby picking up 4 assists. Those are some of the notables, but overall, even though it wasn't perfect, there were some lapses at times. What we saw was a Stillwater team who certainly is deserving of the 1 seed, which they have effectively locked up by beating Mahtomedi. So they will host the section playoffs all the way through the finals. So the road to state in Section 4 will run through Stillwater. That much we can tell you. We certainly enjoy bringing you spring sports coverage of boys and girls lacrosse and softball, and we certainly hope to give you some playoff coverage. Again, follow us on social media, Valley Access channels on Facebook, Valley Access TV on Twitter for updates if we're able to provide that programming for you. But it's a celebration for Lydia Glass, Ellie Fisher, and the rest of the Stillwater contingent. 16-6 the final over Mahtomedi. So, for our entire crew on VAC TV, I'm Mike Beaton. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
The preceding broadcast of Pony Sports has been supported by Joseph's Restaurant, Thank you for watching Fact TV Sports.